Hey guys, Mike here. Thanks for tuning in again. So in this video and in another video, we're going to talk about the topic of presets and how to customize them and to change them. I know that the topic about presets in Superior Drummer is highly discussed, and I get a lot of questions about how to make a preset, how to change them, what is the best preset for whatever purpose. Toontrack already released one video about how to customize a preset, but this was more like how to change the tone, and they're giving some tips which might other kick work for this. However, I think that there's some things missing in that video and what confuses people. We're going to address this in this video and in a second video. Why are making two videos? Because we're going to split this topic into two separate pieces. First of all, it's the topic of adding stuff or changing the preset within the same library, because I know some of you guys just own the core library of Superior Drummer, and the next video will be about how to change a preset using samples or instruments from other libraries, because that's a different game. So without further ado, let's jump in. Presets are very, very popular for good reasons. I know a lot of guys just don't want to spend too much time in tweaking and building everything from scratch each time they start a new project, or they play to a beat, or they program something, either you're a drummer or you're non-drummer. So presets are often a very good starting point. However, I found presets can be misleading to a certain point, because presets are nothing more than mainly a pre-mixed version of a drum set, which is fine. The problem is that usually mixing often is a constant change on the road. It's not just like a give and take or just like a fixed thing right from the start. So when you don't know anything about mixing at all, which is fine, and you're looking for some presets and you want to change something on the road, it's not that easy that you just can change an instrument within the preset and still hope that the preset might still sound exactly the same, because everything is built upon each other like a house. So today I'm going to show you at least what you need to consider when you want to change a preset within a given library. So let's start here, because I know a lot of you guys are metalheads out there and rock guides. Let's stay with some of the, I don't know, doesn't really matter. Let's call this one the Metal Aod preset. Looking at the mixer window, you see there's a lot of stuff going on, which is typical for metal. And I have this groove down here, which you see in the bottom of the screen, which is made for the purpose of demonstrating a whole kit, because I programmed this beat using all the 5 toms and all the cymbals and all that stuff. So I know for a fact, and this is a good example, that in this beat, the third rec tom that you see, that you don't see in this preset, will be played usually. Now the software is smart enough to trigger the second rec tom or the floor tom instead, but it will show with a little icon on the screen that a note should have been played that's not there as an instrument. So let me jump to the section here where the tom is playing, and let's have a listen on this. So you see this little icon that's popping up, but that's an easy catch, isn't it? So in this case, we're just gonna add right-click the instrument here, which is the third rec tom from this Aod kit. So let's have a listen again. I will put on my headphones. Let's have a listen again how this sounds, because now the tom should be triggered. Sounds different, doesn't it? The thing is that the whole preset was never intended to use 5 rec toms, and that's the problem of some presets. I know a lot of you guys sometimes just ask for more stuff. They want to add more toms, more cymbals, and all that stuff. And you cannot just simply add them to a given preset, because a preset is not only a preset mixing-wise, but only when it comes to the drum set itself. In this case, just 4 toms instead of 5. So we have to make and to tweak some things to make this happen. When you look at the mixer window here, first of all, here on the left side, where the individual and particular direct microphones are listed, you see there's no third rec tom happening, as I said, because it was never intended to use that third instrument or third tom in that preset. So the first thing we have to do go here in the top of edit visibility. And you see here, rec tom 3. First of all, the volume failure is brought down, so there's no sending signal whatsoever. To unhide it here in the top, just click here, and then you can click on edit again, and now it's visible, at least for mixing purposes. The good thing and good news is, in this case, this third tom is already routed and pre-routed to this tom bus here on the right side, where the toms are bussed together, again processed, and before they go out to output 1 and 2, which is the stereo out, which you're going to hear right now on your headphones or speakers. So first of all, we have to bring up the volume to at least here, and let's make this unity gain like all the others. So now we have set every single tom to unity gain, and let's listen now how this sounds. The tom sounds almost bigger. You clearly hear a lot of retail. This is because we have to change something into the stereo microphones and the room microphones where the tom is coming through as well. But one thing you might see, of course, is that all the other toms have some EQ edits, which this tom doesn't have. Now, I know that a lot of you guys just like copy the EQ setting from this tom to the next tom, which is basically okay, especially with toms, because they have similar frequency responses. However, just being the purist that I am, this is not 100% correct. In this case, this might work because the two toms have, let's say, probably the same tone that you need to tweak. But sometimes I see this when people change a, let's say, 24-inch kick drum to an 18-inch kick drum and just copy the EQ settings. And this probably won't work. You will hear some effect, of course, but a 24-inch kick drum needs to be processed differently than an 18-inch kick drum. And here's the problem that I wanted to address with this video in general. Of course, you can say, yeah, then I just changed the EQ. And for everyone who knows about mixing, this is fine. But especially the target group that uses all those presets, they use those presets because they don't have no clue about mixing, which is totally fine. They'd say, I want to be a musician, I want a solution that works right off the box, I just want to play, I don't want to sit along and tweak EQs for 5 hours. But the problem is, the moment you change a preset in that way, you need to know at least the basics about processing. So that's kind of like the trap that people sometimes step into here, and they don't get the preset to sound right for them. So in this case, just like a shortcut, hold down the Alt key on the Mac, and I think on the PC as well, and just drag it over, and you just copy the preset or the EQ setting from this tom to the next tom. So, but we need to address the room microphones, because here in the overheads and in the ambience microphones, you will see when you go here to the top right corner that the third rec tom is still set at unity gain, because that's the default, while all the other toms, and let me quickly check, are brought down by -7 dB, which is quite significant. So you have to make sure step by step that the instrument you add is, let's say, close or the same in terms of settings as all the other instruments, to make it be a consistent instrument, new instrument in this setup. So let's bring this down by 7 again. And let's do this on the room microphones, which I assume is exactly the same. Yes, you see here in the top corner. And these are even brought down by 9 dB. So let's bring it down by 9 dB. And let's have a listen again. So now we have a customized preset, but as I said, let's say we want to use a completely different instrument here. Let's say you want to use this Ludwig concert tom here. So you hear it doesn't fit at all, you know. So what sometimes people do is they add, so you add to the center articulation. And for, I will get to the complicated stuff in the next video about this topic. So let's stack this just to the existing IR tom. Yeah, let's listen how this sounds. Same here, you have to make sure that even the stacked one is, let's say, as a starting point, using the same processing as the given instruments from that preset. You can do this differently, but this would be a too sophisticated mixing topic. So now you see here, the third rack tom is added as an stacked instrument, as a X instrument here, X instruments in the mixer tab. But now we have to do every single thing again. So first of all, we're gonna route it not to output 1 and 2, because in this case, this tom would just get the processing of the output 1 and 2, like this EQ and this compression and this EQ, which you might think, well, that's okay. No, because those things on the main output are made for the whole drum kit and not just for the tom. So you will mess up the sound. So first of all, click here, send it to the tom bus. Level should be okay. Let's go to the ambience ribbon here, and you see it's already added stack, and you see you have to adjust this here as well, because the AR tom is brought down as we did it by 9 dB, but this one is still at unity gain. So bring down this one at least by 9 dB as well, just in case you want just to blend them perfectly together. Of course, when you stack an instrument, sometimes it's exactly the purpose to have different volumes, but just to make it consistent in the first place, let's copy all the settings. And of course, same for the overheads. And bring it down. This was 7 something around-ish. So let's have a listen again. So now for me, it sounds, at least volume-wise and processing-wise, exactly the same. Now, of course, you can start to tweak. You can say like, okay, I want to bring down the tail of this added instrument as well. But this is the first thing you need to do, just like to have the same routing and mixing of the new stacked instrument. So in the next video, I'm going to show you, because this is a different game really, what you need to consider when you add something from a different library, because this is going to get more complicated, as different libraries means different room microphones, different direct microphones, different sounds of rooms. So it's not that easy to just stack stuff from 5 different libraries if you want a consistent sound that you wanted to have in the first place by picking in a preset. Let me know in the comment section, guys, how much of presets you use, and if you have specific questions that I can address. So far, thanks again for watching. Leave a comment below as always, and have a great day making music, and see you next time. Bye-bye.